Lewis Hamilton may have cleared the air regarding rumours about his contract over the Monaco weekend, but talk of him making a switch to Ferrari carries on. Some pundits believe that it is an issue of money, and for a generational talent like the seven-time world champion, the reported offer of £40 million just isn't going to cut it. How much will it take for Ferrari to buy Hamilton's allegiance to his beloved Silver Arrows? You've come to the right video to find out. Hamilton's existing contract with Mercedes is expected to end after the 2023 season. Lately, there has been a lot of speculation linking the seven-time world champion with a possible move to Ferrari. Prior to the Monaco Grand Prix last weekend, a report stated that Ferrari president John Elkann has been in regular communication with Hamilton and is reportedly getting ready to present an offer of £40 million to have him join forces with Charles Leclerc in 2024. When Hamilton was asked about the rumours in Monte Carlo, he firmly denied them and expressed that an extension to his contract with Mercedes is nearly finalised. In the meantime, Ferrari's team principal, Fred Vasseur, who previously supervised Hamilton's championship-winning GP2 season in 2006 while at the ART Grand Prix, brushed off the report as typical gossip associated with the silly season. However, he openly acknowledged that every single team on the grid would like to have Hamilton at one stage. During a recent YouTube stream, Peter Windsor expressed his opinion that Hamilton should not entertain any discussions with Ferrari unless Formula One's renowned team is willing to offer a substantial amount of at least £80 million. He said, "I've seen a few numbers bandied about. One was £40 million. If I was Lewis Hamilton, I'd be going for a lot more than £40 million because you could argue that Lewis, with the Ferrari brand and what he could do for the Ferrari brand, should be thinking in terms of at least £50 million just for PR and brand turnaround. And then how much is he worth as a driver, as a pure race driver? You'd have to say 25 to 30 million. 40? I would say about 80 would be more logical. And if they're not going to pay that sort of money, I don't think he should do it. I think he should stay at Mercedes and look for some long-term deal at Mercedes and continue. Because what you don't want to do, if you're Lewis Hamilton, is leave Mercedes just as they're going to be competitive. Because the odds are, having been uncompetitive for so long, that a team that big and that good will eventually find a way. That's another issue for Lewis, so he may well stay where he is, and it could be the money that decides it. If I was managing Lewis and it was £40 million, I'd say, nah, stay where you are. Ferrari is a huge brand for Lewis Hamilton to put his name to. Massive. And that's worth a lot more than a £40 million deal, in my view. Although Ferrari holds the distinction of being the most successful team in Formula One history, they have not secured a World Championship title since 2008. Additionally, their performance in recent years has been underwhelming, with only 4 race victories in the past 4 seasons. Notably, all of these wins were achieved in the first half of last year after a significant rule change was implemented. Considering the uncertainty of Hamilton's chances to contend for an unprecedented 8th championship title with Ferrari, as well as his recent lack of race wins since the second-to-last round of the 2021 season, Windsor believes that Hamilton would be justified in taking a firm stance during negotiations with the Italian team, adding that, if Lewis is going to Ferrari, it's such a big unknown in terms of how competitive that car would be that if I was Lewis, I wouldn't go for less than 80. I did say £100 million to a mate the other day and he said, "That's a bit much, isn't it?" I said, "Okay, let's bring it down to 80. But 40? You've got to be joking. If he does it for 40, hats off to him because it means he's just doing it for the love of the sport. I'm not decrying the enormity of £40 million, but I'm just saying for that he might as well stay at Mercedes, really. In recent times, there have been swirling rumours about behind-the-scenes discussions regarding a potential remarkable switch between Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. Speculation suggests that Leclerc would join Mercedes, replacing Hamilton if the 7-time world champion ever does decide to make a move to Ferrari. According to Mark Schurer, if there is even a slight chance for Leclerc to transition to Mercedes and depart from Ferrari, he firmly believes that the Monegasque driver should seize the opportunity without hesitation. During a recent sit-down on the Formula1.de YouTube channel, Schurer said, "He has to say yes. It's a bit muddled with Ferrari at the moment. There's no ray of hope either. If he gets a chance, he should switch teams. That would certainly do him good." Schurer highlights that Ferrari has experienced the departure of high-caliber engineers like David Sanchez, who moved to McLaren, and Laurent Mekies, who left for AlphaTauri. These departures occurred following the resignation of former team boss Mattia Binotto at the end of the 2022 season. Schurer went on to say, "Why should it get better? A new opportunity with Mercedes for Leclerc would be ideal for him. Maybe it would be a bit calmer then. Although driving next to George Russell, you can't speak of calm." And speaking purely on machinery, Schurer argues that Leclerc's notable mistakes, such as crashing during qualifying in Miami or relinquishing the lead in last year's French Grand Prix, stem from his tendency to push the limits in an attempt to compensate for the performance gap of Ferrari's machinery compared to competitors like Red Bull. "The problem is that Leclerc often drives faster than the car can," Schurer said. "And then it's always on the edge of a knife, always just before losing it. I think that's what happened at Le Castellet last year too, that under pressure he just wanted to get more out of it than was possible. Then at some point the mistake came, and that's dangerous because at some point he has to have a car with me where he can take it easy and still win. But he hasn't at the moment." Ahead of the upcoming race in Barcelona, it has been disclosed by sources that Ferrari is preparing to implement several updates, with a notable focus on its side pod design. The team has been utilizing an in-wash solution since the introduction of ground effect cars in 2022. Despite the majority of the grid adopting the Red Bull downwash style, Ferrari has persisted with its in-wash concept for this season. Having witnessed Red Bull's evident advantage this season, Ferrari seems prepared to alter its approach in order to address its challenges. While the new side pods may not be an exact replica of the Red Bull design, it is believed that they will signify a significant departure from Ferrari's previous direction and represent a substantial change in their approach. The team is aiming to find solutions to its issues by embracing a fresh perspective. This shift in design says that the team has come to the conclusion that the tyre issues experienced during races are primarily connected to the car's aerodynamics, rather than any mechanical setup problems. Although the updated car may have a different appearance, Charles Leclerc downplayed the notion of a drastic change in fortunes. However, he expressed hope that these modifications would contribute to improving the consistency that Ferrari has been lacking in its performance. Leclerc said, "We are not experiencing any big miracles, to be honest. From now on, we want to try and bring some small upgrades every race. This one should go in the right direction, but I don't think it will be a massive change. At the moment, the thing is that we have an extremely peaky car that in qualifying, on the one-lap pace with new tyres and with the wind that we know exactly how we need to drive the car, it's okay. But as soon as we go a little bit out of those conditions, the car loses so much downforce overall. So we've been working a lot on that with this new car. This should help us not to gain that much performance, but to at least be a bit more consistent throughout the weekend. That hopefully will help us to have a better result on the Sunday." Will an offer of £80 million from Ferrari change Lewis's mind about staying in Mercedes? Is the SF23 finally ready to give Red Bull a headache come Spanish Grand Prix? Tell us what you think in the comments section below. And, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.